Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to be tackling a pretty weighty subject today
Yeah.
that I know hits close to home for a lot of you guys, and that is redefining manhood.
Right.
We are diving deep today
hmm
into a book that is aptly titled Redefining Manhood.
Okay.
And it really gets into a lot of the unspoken frustrations and anxieties that a lot of men are feeling today as those old, kind of playbooks on masculinity seem increasingly outdated.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like the definition of what it means to be a man is constantly shifting,
Mm.
leaving you unsure of where you stand?
Absolutely. And I think the book really dives right into that sense of confusion right from the get-go.
Okay.
One of the most, I think, striking claims right off the bat that the book makes is that some segments of modern feminism have, in a sense, morphed into something that resembles misandry more than a quest for equality.
It's a bold statement, right?
It is a bold statement.
It immediately makes you sit up and pay attention.
For sure, for sure. And what's so fascinating is how the book goes on to examine the effects of this shift.
Okay.
For instance, you have this very popular statement, all men are toxic,
Right.
which immediately creates this hostile environment where men feel like they're judged and misunderstood before they even have a chance to express themselves.
That's like you're guilty until proven innocent.
Exactly.
And it makes you wonder, how do you build healthy relationships, like
Right.
romantic or otherwise, when you're starting from that assumption?
Totally. And that's actually where the book's discussion of biology gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because it argues that certain biological differences between men and women have historically shaped those societal roles,
Okay.
and that we can't simply ignore those differences.
So we're talking about things like testosterone, and it's linked to risk-taking competitiveness,
Exactly.
traits that are often labeled toxic in men.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're biological,
Right.
are we just wired this way?
Well, the book doesn't suggest that we're trapped by our biology. It really emphasizes that understanding these inherent differences is not about excusing bad behavior,
Okay.
but about recognizing the unique strength that both men and women bring to the table.
Right.
It's about appreciating those differences, not trying to erase them.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not about saying one is better than the other, but about understanding and valuing both perspectives.
Exactly.
Now, one part that really struck a chord with me was the book's exploration of the mind-body connection.
Okay.
It's something we hear about a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but the book presents some incredible examples that really make you realize its power.
Yeah, for sure. The story of Morris Goodman is
Oh, yeah.
particularly compelling. This is a man who was paralyzed in a plane crash.
Wow.
Doctors told him he'd never walk again.
Oh, wow.
But simply by focusing his mind, visualizing himself healing and walking, he defied all odds and walked out of that hospital.
It's like the power of belief,
Yeah.
of positive thinking played a huge role in his recovery.
Absolutely.
Makes you wonder, how much more are we capable of if we harness this connection?
Right.
Could it help us overcome challenges in our relationships, in our careers, in our lives in general?
The book definitely suggests that it's possible.
Okay.
And it's not just about overcoming these massive setbacks like Morris's,
Right.
It also emphasizes the power of the mind-body connection in our everyday lives.
Okay.
For instance, it talks about how exercise can be a game changer for mental health.
Yeah. They use the example of David Goggins, right?
Exactly.
Who used physical activity to overcome depression,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately became an ultra-endurance athlete.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It's really inspiring.
It is.
Makes you realize that sometimes pushing your physical limits can lead to breakthroughs in other areas of your life.
Yeah,
I know I feel more focused and clear-headed after a good workout.
absolutely. And the book also highlights the benefits of exercising outdoors, connecting with nature to boost your mood and overall well-being.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Now, shifting gears a bit, the book dives into something that I think a lot of men struggle with today, and that is finding purpose, especially when traditional roles feel less relevant.
It's like there's this void,
Yeah.
this lack of direction
Mm-hmm.
that can leave men feeling lost and unsure of their place in the world.
Absolutely. And the author actually shares his own personal experiences witnessing this lack of purpose in the men around him,
Oh, wow.
which adds a real sense of urgency to the issue.
So it's not just an abstract concept.
Right.
It's something he's observed firsthand.
Exactly.
So what's the solution?
Yeah.
How do we find that sense of purpose when those old maps no longer seem to apply?
Well, the book suggests we start by looking inward,
Okay.
reflecting on our values, our
Yeah.
strengths, our past experiences and passions.
Okay.
It's about connecting with what truly drives us,
Okay.
what gives us a sense of meaning and
So
fulfillment.
it's like rediscovering yourself,
Yeah.
unearthing those core values that might have been buried under societal expectations or life's distractions. And once you find that purpose, how does that translate into building better relationships?
Well, the book really emphasizes communication
Oh,
and not just talking, but truly listening, understanding the other person's perspective,
okay.
and importantly, being able to express your own needs and wants clearly and respectfully.
So it's about building those bridges of understanding,
Mm.
creating that space for genuine connection.
Yeah.
And it's not just about romantic relationships, right?
Right.
It's about all the relationships in our lives with family, with friends, with colleagues.
Absolutely. It's about showing up authentically with purpose in all aspects of your life.
Okay.
Now, this is where the book gets to, I think, its core message,
Okay.
which is reclaiming those masculine values that have been dismissed or even demonized in recent times.
We talk about Stoicism, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's a philosophy that seems to be having a bit of a resurgence lately.
It is.
What does it have to offer men in today's world?
Well, the book presents Stoicism as a framework for navigating the inevitable challenges and adversities of life.
It's about cultivating resilience, self-control, and a focus on what you can control.
Okay.
Your thoughts, your actions, your responses to those external events.
So instead of getting swept away by emotions, it's about finding that inner strength to stay grounded, to respond thoughtfully, and focus on what you can actually influence.
Exactly. And the book really emphasizes how crucial this is in a world that's constantly bombarding us with information distractions, external pressures.
Yeah.
Stoicism can really help you find that inner peace amidst the chaos.
It's like finding that still point within yourself,
Hmm.
even when the world around you feels like it's spinning out of control.
Absolutely. Now, the book also makes a strong case for the importance of male spaces.
Okay, what role do they see those spaces playing in a man's life?
Well, they argue that male spaces are vital for fostering brotherhood, mentorship, and open dialogue about the issues that men are facing.
Okay.
It's about having those environments where men can connect with each other, share their experiences, support each other's growth without judgment. It's like having that tribe,
Yeah.
that sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
That can be so crucial when you're trying to navigate these complex issues of masculinity.
Precisely. And the book highlights how these spaces can help men develop their sense of self, build confidence, and address issues like mental health, something that men often struggle with in silence.
It's about creating that safe space where vulnerability is welcomed,
Right.
where you can drop the mask and connect with other men on a deeper level.
Exactly. Now, the book doesn't shy away from tackling the toxic masculinity narrative head on.
Right. What's their take on this concept?
Well, they argue that while harmful behaviors absolutely exist,
Okay.
we need to be careful not to conflate those behaviors with masculinity itself.
Okay.
It's about separating the wheat from the chaff, so to speak.
So it's not about denying that there are negative aspects,
Right.
but about recognizing that those don't define the whole.
Exactly.
There's a lot of good in those traditional masculine traits.
Mm-hmm.
Strength, protectiveness, a drive to achieve.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be thrown out just because they've been misrepresented or misused.
Exactly. And the book really challenges us to reclaim those positive aspects of masculinity,
Okay.
to redefine them in a way that serves us and the world around us.
I like that.
Yeah. And speaking of reclaiming those positive aspects, the book spends quite a bit of time exploring the warrior archetype.
Okay.
It's something that has resonated with men throughout history.
Yeah.
That sense of strength, purpose, and courage in the face of adversity.
Right.
Have you ever felt drawn to that archetype?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That image of the warrior?
It's something that's always captured my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Those historical figures like the Spartans,
Right.
the samurai, warriors who embodied discipline, honor, and a willingness to fight for something greater than themselves.
Absolutely.
But how does that translate to the modern world?
Right.
We're not exactly facing down, charging armies on a battlefield.
That's a great question, and the book delves into that very point. It argues that the warrior spirit isn't about physical combat.
Okay.
It's about how you approach life's challenges,
Okay.
how you face your fears, how you overcome obstacles.
So it's about having that inner strength, that resilience, that mental toughness to persevere when things get tough.
Yeah.
It's about having a set of principles that guides your actions.
Precisely. And the book makes a fascinating connection.
Okay.
It argues that this warrior spirit can be cultivated through spirituality.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way before.
Yeah.
How does spirituality play into the warrior archetype?
Well, they argue that spirituality can provide a sense of purpose,
Okay.
a connection to something larger than yourself
Yeah.
that can fuel your drive and determination.
Okay.
It's about finding that inner peace and strength that allows you to face challenges with clarity and courage.
So it's not necessarily about religious beliefs,
Right.
but about that inner journey,
Yeah,
that connection to something deeper that gives you that sense of grounding and purpose.
exactly. Now, shifting gears to a more practical level,
Okay.
the book offers some insightful advice on dealing with manipulation tactics.
Okay.
In today's world, it feels like we're constantly being bombarded with messages trying to influence us,
Right.
trying to control our thoughts and behaviors.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like you're being manipulated,
Oh, sure.
either in your personal relationships or by the media advertising, even political rhetoric?
Definitely. Yeah.
It's like you have to constantly be on guard,
Yeah.
filtering through all the noise to figure out what's genuine and what's an attempt to manipulate you.
Makes sense.
So how do we protect ourselves?
Right.
How do we recognize those manipulation tactics and not fall prey to them?
Yeah. What are the signs?
Well, the book breaks down some of the common techniques manipulators use.
Okay.
Things like guilt tripping,
Right.
gaslighting, playing the victim, using emotional blackmail.
Those are some heavy tactics.
Yeah, they are. And the book emphasizes the importance of being aware of these tactics, recognizing the red flags, and setting boundaries to protect yourself.
So it's about having that self-awareness,
Right.
that understanding of your own vulnerabilities.
Right.
So you can recognize when someone's trying to exploit them.
Exactly. And it's about having the courage to say no when necessary.
Right.
To stand up for yourself and not let others control your thoughts, your feelings, or your actions.
It's about taking back that control,
Yeah.
that agency over your own life.
Exactly. Now the book makes a connection between this idea of resisting manipulation
Okay.
and the importance of goal setting.
How do those two things relate?
Well, they argue that having clear goals for your life,
Okay.
things you're working towards, things that give you a sense of purpose and direction, can make you less susceptible to manipulation.
Uh-huh.
So it's like having that internal compass, that sense of direction
Hmm?
that keeps you grounded and focused, even when external forces are trying to sway you. Precisely. And they highlight some inspiring examples of successful men.
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Oh, yeah.
Steve Jobs, Sylvester Stallone,
Okay.
who achieved their goals despite facing numerous obstacles and setbacks.
It's like they had that unwavering vision,
Mm-hmm.
that determination to succeed,
Yeah.
that fueled them even when things got tough.
Exactly. And they emphasize that achieving your goals isn't just about luck or talent.
Okay.
It's about having a plan, taking action, persevering through challenges, and not letting anything derail you from your vision.
It's about having that grit, that relentless pursuit of what you want to achieve.
Exactly. Now, you mentioned earlier that the book dives into the mind-body connection.
Right.
One of the things they talk about is this concept of healing from within.
Oh, what do they mean by that?
Well, they emphasize the importance of emotional healing,
Okay.
something that men often struggle with. We're often taught to suppress our emotions, to man up, and not show any weakness.
Right.
But the book challenges that notion.
So it's about acknowledging those emotions,
Yeah.
those hurts, those traumas that we might be carrying around,
Yeah.
instead of burying them and pretending they don't exist.
Exactly. And they argue that true strength comes from facing those emotions, processing them, and finding healthy ways to heal from them.
So they talk about therapy, right?
They do.
Finding a safe space to explore those emotions and develop strategies for healing.
Exactly. They highlight the importance of therapy, but they also discuss other approaches,
Okay.
like journaling meditation or connecting with supportive friends or mentors.
So it's about finding what works for you,
Mm-hmm.
what helps you process those emotions and move toward healing and wholeness.
Exactly. And they also delve into this fascinating connection between gut health and mental health.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredible how interconnected our bodies are.
Yeah.
They talk about how the bacteria in our gut can actually impact our mood, our energy levels, and even our cognitive function.
So it's not just about what we eat affecting our physical health,
Right.
but also our mental and emotional well-being.
Right. Exactly. And they offer some practical advice on how to improve our gut health.
Okay, like what?
Well, things like focusing on a nutrient-rich diet, incorporating probiotics, and managing stress levels.
So it's a holistic approach to well-being,
Yeah.
recognizing that our mental and physical health are intertwined.
Exactly. Now let's turn to something that can be a little bit controversial,
Okay.
but that the book argues is crucial to understand,
Okay.
and that is the impact of the feminization of society.
It's definitely a hot button issue.
Yeah,
And I'm curious to hear the book's take on it.
right,
What exactly do they mean by feminization?
right.
And what are the potential consequences they see?
Well, they explore how traditional masculine roles and values have been
Yeah.
devalued or even demonized in recent times.
Okay.
And they argue that this shift has led to a sense of confusion and frustration for many men
Okay, good.
who feel like they're being told that their natural instincts and behaviors are inherently wrong or toxic.
So it's like there's this pressure to conform to a more feminine ideal, even if it doesn't feel authentic or true to yourself.
Exactly. And the book argues that this can have negative consequences for both men and women,
Okay.
leading to a breakdown in communication, a lack of understanding between the genders,
Okay.
and a sense of imbalance in relationships and society as a whole.
It's like we're losing those complementary roles
Yeah.
that traditionally brought men and women together,
hmm
creating a sense of partnership and mutual support.
That's a key point they make.
Yeah.
They're not advocating for going back to some rigid, outdated model of gender roles.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the unique strength and contributions of both men and women
Right.
and finding ways to integrate those in a way that benefits everyone.
So it's about finding that balance,
Yeah,
that harmony between the masculine and the feminine that allows both to thrive.
exactly.
Now, one of the things that really resonated with me in the book was a discussion about legacy.
Okay.
It's something I think a lot of men grapple with.
Yeah.
That desire to leave a mark on the world, to create something that will outlast them.
Right.
What insights does the book offer on this topic?
Well, they argue that legacy isn't just about grand achievements
Oh.
or material possessions.
Yeah.
It's about the impact you have on others, the values you embody, the relationships you build,
Okay.
and the contributions you make to your family, your community, and the world around you.
So it's not necessarily about fame or fortune,
Right.
but about living a life of purpose, integrity, and meaning.
Exactly. They talk about different ways men can create a lasting legacy,
Okay.
raising strong and principled children,
Okay.
building a successful business that provides jobs and value to the community, mentoring younger generations,
Okay.
or contributing to causes you believe in.
So it's about using your talents and your resources to make a positive difference, to leave the world a better place than you found it.
Yeah, and they emphasize that legacy doesn't have to be something grand or monumental. It can be those small, everyday acts of kindness, courage, and integrity that ripple outward,
Oh.
impacting the lives of others in ways you may never fully realize.
Now, one of the things I really appreciate about this book is its emphasis on practical advice.
Okay.
They don't just talk about these concepts in a theoretical way.
Right.
They offer concrete steps you can take to implement these ideas in your own life. Have you found that to be the case?
Absolutely. They provide a wealth of practical tips and techniques for everything from improving your communication skills to developing self-discipline to cultivating a stronger mind-body connection.
It's like a toolkit for personal growth and empowerment.
Yeah.
And it's encouraging to know that these changes are within our reach, that we have the power to shape our lives and become the men we want to be.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes that it's a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
There will be setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt along the way.
Sure.
But the key is to keep moving forward, to learn from our experiences, and to never give up on ourselves.
So it's about having that resilience, that grit,
Yeah.
that determination to keep striving, keep growing, keep evolving.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, a deep dive into redefining manhood.
Yeah.
It's been a fascinating exploration of the challenges and opportunities facing men in today's world.
It really has.
What are your final thoughts on the book?
Well, I think it's a book that will resonate deeply with a lot of men.
Okay.
It's honest, it's insightful, it's challenging, and ultimately it's empowering. It offers a roadmap for navigating the complexities of modern masculinity and becoming the best versions of ourselves.
I love that.
And for those who want to explore these ideas further,
Okay.
you can find Redefining Manhood on Amazon, Kindle, and Google Play Books.
Awesome. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
It's definitely a book worth checking out.
for sure.
And to all of you listening,
hmm
thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
We hope you found it valuable.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep
Yeah.
growing, and keep redefining manhood on your own terms.